You can't replace part of the brain. Like, you
treat them the same.
The source of truth for the medtech industry.
Coexists with the prophets.
Robot understands things automatically.
Number one show in the medtech industry.
So Stryker got ahead of that and changed in the 90s, built $1 billion company that held up high. A lot of things.
State of MedTech with your host, Omar M. Khatib.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show, your favorite MedTech marketing series. I'm joined by my co-host, the great and powerful Orette Davis. We got a great one today. We got two interesting topics. First topic, we're going to be doing a live review of Johnson & Johnson's MedTech division. They just launched this interesting landing page for robotic spine platform. So we're going to do a review of that. And then we're going to cover another topic, which is one that I personally believe Orette is an absolute master at, which is what do you do if there's no search volume for your product or category? So let's go ahead and get started with that. And Orette, I'd say like dealer's choice. Which topic do you want to start with first?
Let's just go in order that we have it. Let's actually take a look at the landing page. I'm always excited to dive in to those because it's a chance, whether you're a big company or a small company, to kind of see what people are doing and what may or may not be some of the best practices here. So
Totally.
Curious on these types of things.
Absolutely. And just a reminder to our audience, for those who are listening to this live or recorded on the podcast, if you want to join these weekly Zoom calls, we do this in an intimate setting. We always do Q&A. It's a lot of fun. Check the show notes below and click that link and sign up. That being said, let's get started. All right. Perfect. For context, okay, the company is DePuy Synthes, which is a big orthopedic company. And I saw this pop up on my feed on LinkedIn, which was essentially this image about stop wrestling with spine robots. Okay. And so they had an announcement around this. So this is their main page. So we're going to go ahead and critique this whole thing. So let's start with the first part though. Oh, go ahead, Orette.
I've got one question. Is this clear or is it clever?
Ooh,
there's a difference and there's an importance of what you should be doing here on these headers. So that's my question for you as we kick this off. Is it clear or is it clever?
That's a good one. I'm gonna say it's more clever than clear. The reason why, I don't know, and I come from the robotic spine world, and so I get it, because if you're a spine surgeon and you're using a robotic platform, there is this part where you're wrestling with it. So having the bull there with the physician, I thought that was pretty clever. But my thing is that, okay, is wrestling with the robotic spine platform, is that like the number one pain point, right? And I feel like there's other pain points that are a lot stronger, like inaccuracy. For example, like if you have a robotic platform, you have a navigation system, if they don't agree, they don't match up, what do you do at that point? So I wonder if there's like better pain points than wrestling with a robotic spine. I feel like this is, good, not great, but I was jiving with it. What about you, Orette? What are your takes?
Yeah, I think it leans, for me, I'm a fan of clear, tell people exactly what it is right up front, because this page is going to be looked at, for 2 seconds before someone kind of makes their mind. Is this for, not for me? I'll give you, though, the kind of argument, if like in the market, this is a known topic, which is it's very leaned on heavily because everything below is all around like keeping control in your hands. Like that's a constant theme. And even some of the stuff that we'll talk about below. I'm a fan of just like leaning more like active robotic assistance for knee surgery, for spine surgery, for whatever it may be, direct in the headline versus stop wrestling. Like the theme there. I can go either way, but I understand where they're going with, but I like the direct approach.
I concur. I concur with that.
Yep.
And then since we're here, okay, again, we're going to go into what's below the fold, but let's just see. Okay, so experience it live. What happens when I click that?
Yeah. So this is another
nothing.
Good. No, it takes you to a
there we go. Now it goes. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks, if we take back into like the goal of a landing page, like what is its purpose? Are they looking to capture leads, like capture information? Are they looking to educate and nurture and drive things forward? Are they looking to bring people to some place like a sign-up page for an event or something like that? And this one's clearly driving someone to another registration page and then find out more information to see if there's this tour that they can go on to sign up for.
Yeah. And again, like if we go to experience it live, Spine mobile app. Okay, so that's good. What I do, I will give them a shout out. I like that they have it. Again, you don't have to be creative about it. It's all laid out in a gallery view, and you can just scroll through and see what it is, right? And I think it's good. You have making it easy to navigate. Image of the city. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty good. Let's just see, out of curiosity, how easy it is to get over. So we go over here. All right, so this is
another sign up page.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so this is okay. So now, all right, so I got to register. So it's grayed out.
This is where this all, to me, just falls flat. And
and let me click. I clicked on one that was happening today. Okay, so now it's here. Let me click register now. All right. Ooh, what do you think I'm going to do right now? What do you think I'm about to do?
If you're on your phone, this is a lot of information to put in, and you're going to bounce
a lot. Salutation. Okay, let me show you okay. There's a time and place to put friction for these forms. This is not the place, right? Okay. No. Salutation, irrelevant. First name, last name, credentials. Like, all right, too much. Email address. Okay, this should literally be. Okay, registration type, I'll accept that. Okay, first, last name, email, mobile. Done. That's it. Because if this is, and again, why do you have to pick your specialty? This is for spine surgery. So like it should already be known. Hospital affiliation, NPI number. You can look up the doctor's NPI number. You don't need all this. Why do you need who knows? Okay, in every single company I've worked at, I never memorize the work address. Too much.
This is, I think what they were probably trying to do is let's get all information so we can parse out and hyper qualify people. But they did it at the expense of putting a lot of work in front of physicians and the target market. And
way too much.
This overall funnel and flow could have been incredibly simplified, right? Back to so basically at this page right here, you have someone click in to go then to the events page and list out all the events. Couple of questions, right? What if there's an event not in my city? So I'm in Orlando. We have major hospitals here in Orlando. There's no listing in Orlando. They go to Tampa and Miami. I see that. I bounce. I could be very interested in this product or service, right? But because they don't explicitly list my location, there's no need for me to register. I'm not going to drive to Tampa. I'm not going to drive to Miami. Even here or the next screen, they should have done a very simple opt-in form, name, email, and specialty or whatever it may be, to capture that initial information up front and then parse them towards those individual cities on the back end, right? So there's just this form could have been a multi-step form. It could have been simplified. Instead, though, we get this kind of wonky experience. And they're spending a lot of money on this. That I'm guarantee you that mobile tour is not cheap.
Yeah.
But they're losing out on like being able to pre-register and gather interest ahead of time to the event, having this kind of like wonky funnel experience on the front end.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper. Let's see what else we think. Okay, there's an unmet need in spine robotics. Okay, robotic assisted spinal surgery is still limited. Okay, I'll buy that. Current marketing offers, they're rigid, they're restrictive. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's your copy here. This is the point you're trying to make, which is it's limiting, it's restrictive, it's rigid, it's static, everything. What needs to be over here is an accompanying image showing that. Get a surgeon. They have more than enough money. Get a surgeon dealing with this, looking frustrated, everything. Okay, over 4.8 million operations are performed globally. Okay, no, a surgeon does not care about this. This is irrelevant. You have to always ask yourself, how is this persuading and changing the behavior of the person that I'm trying to engage, right? So this is irrelevant. This should have been a photo. Or thoughts on that?
Yeah, I generally agree, like showing the product in use. I think these are good, fun stats. Going back, if we're back up, who is this actually being addressed towards? If it's actually towards like the physicians, these stats probably don't really resonate. If it's towards the hospital admin or something like that, where those numbers come into play, on the future growth or the future need for something like this, then yes, this could work. But I think as it stands right now, probably leaves a little bit more to be desired.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So again, this is good. This is, it's irrelevant. It's a waste.
Yeah. And even here, like you said, a quick video of frustrated doctor using and struggling with having to fight the robots. I think that really articulates, they're trying to talk about how restrictive the existing devices are. Like let's find a way to emphasize and show that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just while we're here, I should have done this earlier. I'm just going to pull up on my end the actual website just to see the mobile experience. All right. So over 40%. Okay. So this is important. Over 40% of adults age 40 plus experience spinal disease. There is increasing demand to optimize implant placement in the operating room. Again, this is like you're selling to an audience who's already been sold, right? The surgeons know this, and even if they don't know it, it doesn't matter, right? This is their business, right? Okay, there needs to be a comprehensive option. Okay, better. Managing surgical planning, patient movement, ergonomics, in addition to performing the surgery, can significantly increase cognitive load for surgeons. So that's a good point. Even though the physicians know this, I think pointing out a pain like that is important. That needs to be optimized here. I would put, let's say, an image of the surgeon, and maybe their thinking are just different things, like all these things, planning, patient movement, all these different things. These are all things you're having to juggle in your head. And maybe, again, visual persuasion is so much better than written persuasion. So with visual persuasion, you can put a picture of a surgeon. They're like literally juggling balls with all these different topics and everything. Okay. So that's my take. Or anything to add to there?
Yeah, nothing really to add on to this section. Like I said, I think it's really understanding who the target market was for this overall, and it seems like it's not necessarily towards physicians. Could be some of these. I think some of these points may or may not really resonate.
Yeah. So again, we started off here with stop wrestling with robots. Active robotic assistance follows your lead. So that I feel like this should be highlighted a little bit more. Like they're introducing a category here, right?
And even with this, I really catching on this experience at live call to action, right? If the intention is to really draw people to demo this product, let's preview it here, right? Let's actually show the product in action to encourage, to motivate, to incentivize, to get people like excited about the product. And I think if that was the intention here, it's lost, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, so we get down, we make some points here. We finally get introducing active robotic assistance, okay? Keep control in your hands in your operating room with active robotic assistance. Enjoy the flexibility to adjust based on your preferred workflow, all without the constant constraint of a rigid robotic arm. Okay. Again, my personal view is that that's a value prop, but is it like really strong? No, because it's still marketing a feature. It's, hey, this is the new revolution. Instead of dealing with a rigid arm, deal with one that goes with your lead. It's too much of a, if you're going to lead with a feature, it needs to be like a really revolutionary, powerful feature. And most features aren't that. I would be focusing on the outcome. So again, if we think about the point of view here, we're trying to take them from a pain point, right? So we pointed it out here. These are the pain points, must be amplified. Here is the desire. The desired state is not, I feel like it needs to be strengthened a little bit more. All right, so we have this video. I'm gonna click play. Unless should I click play or you want to comment anything?
No, I generally believe like we had to scroll all the way down this page, which most web visitors won't actually do this. You're going to lose, by the time someone gets here, you've probably lost 60-70% of your traffic. And this is like the real meat of what they're trying to get after, right? It's keep control in your hands in your operating room with active robotic assistance. And then here now, finally, more than halfway down the entire page, we finally see our first glimpse of the actual product. Like, and Emily just chimed in, we always put the video at the top. And I agree. That is where
I agree.
should be. I shouldn't see some random image of some 3D generated bull that really doesn't, like I said, it's clever, but not clear. This to me is clear. show me the product.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I completely agree. So let's see this video. All right. So I'm going to just stop there for a second. Okay. I know J&J marketing team, this is not your fault. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But again, if there's all this build up to something, it's got to look really different. It looks like most other robotic platforms. So there's a KUKA based arm. All right. So it's dark. I like the video. It looks sexy. So it's cool.
Yeah. So,
all right.
So that I don't mind, because that actually alludes to see it in person. Like, it's in the shadows. It's the Batman waiting for the reveal, and finally, like, you see it when they come to tour. So this, I get it, where the video is coming from, but like I said, I think the guidance and placement of it is in the wrong order.
Yeah, I agree. And right now I'm looking at this on mobile. Yeah, mobile experience is okay. It's fine. All right. So designed to work for you, putting you in control. All right. Focus on flexibility, bring surgeon autonomy back, easy to use interface. Okay. So again, there's nothing wrong with this copy. And again, I know some of the marketers at J&J, this is not to beat up on them. Just, I want to challenge them in the sense that if I read this, okay, look, let's do something interesting. Globus robot, Mazor robot. So I haven't done this yet, but I'm just curious to see. Okay, Mazor, this is Medtronic's. I don't want to get off on, okay, because this is JJ's done a lot better job than Medtronic here. But look, okay, predictability, precision, visibility. All right, let's go to Globus's. Blah 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 blah. What are the features? Multifunctional, designed to improve accuracy, optimize. Like, the point is, if I showed this to somebody, this could be any robotic company, right? Okay, what robotic system isn't interested in flexibility? Which one is? They're all trying to bring surgeon autonomy back, right? They have some. So my thing is, if you're going to focus on, I'll give you a great example. Is Moon Surgical? I don't know if Moon Surgical launched their new website yet. Let's see. It might be the old website. Okay, but here's the thing. Moon focuses on this concept of the empowered surgeon. All right, so every robotic company wants to empower surgeons, but with Moon, that they've made that their like main tagline, right? So I'm okay with that. If you go with something like this, where it's like flexibility, like it could be anybody. And so if you're going to use a space to talk about some features, they need to be like really differentiated. What do you think, Gorat?
Yeah, I agree. It's probably, you could swap this out and put it in any robotics company, like you said, and you wouldn't know the difference. I think for me, structurally, once again, I think this is something that probably belongs further on the top of the page. It should be directly below the fold. Here are the three key primary benefits that you get from using our platform versus other platforms. And even that, the comparison of us versus them is something that's missing from this page. If they're really something that's truly unique, that should have been featured on here, and it's not. The old way versus the new way, this is us versus them. This is why we're better. This is how our system really works. Mm-hmm. And that's really missing from any of the core messaging that's on this page. And that's honestly, if you really think about it, that is the first question that any physician is going to ask, or any person is going to ask. What is this different? Like, you literally said it yourself.
Exactly.
This has the same arm. I forget what you called it. The same arm as everyone else. Right?
Yeah. And look, J&J's got more than enough money. If you can use iconography, don't use an assembly line robot symbol here. Put something different. And again, if we look at things, this all looks very futuristic, right? Cool. This doesn't go with what's up here, right? So that's okay. So that's fine. Now, this is, in my opinion, this is a good video. And I hope I don't know how to tell. Let's see. I hope this is on Vimeo or something where they can actually see the percent playthrough. This is a 5-minute long video. It's a little bit long. And instead of having, I'm okay with one long video. There's a part of me where they have, let's see, they have 1, 2, 3. They have three physicians. Would you keep this as one long video, and move it higher up? Or would you divide it into 3 different videos where you see the user who's talking?
My initial thought on this was it's a big commitment, like the 5 minutes on the video, especially on a homepage like this. And I think the pacing of the video also as well too is on the slower side. And I just think the world that we're living in now, where everything is moving towards short form, like punchy content, like that's become the somewhat expected like presentation when people see videos now. So we're moving away from these long drawn out videos to more the direct 30 seconds, like here's exactly what you need to know. And I think it's a matter of opinion, but I think, yeah, this probably could have been better served as 3 very punchy 30-second sound bites that immediately go into points like this, where it's showing the product or the benefits, features, differentiation, things like that.
That's exactly right. And if anything, again, this takes and I want to be mindful that the J&J team to get things through at an organization like that, it takes a lot of time. But something to consider is if you were to have a landing page where you separate these 3 videos, I would do it so then again, it's mobile friendly because your clinician is likely watching this on mobile. And you can have it where each video of the 3 has a picture of, let's say, a physician, like starting here. So that way, when somebody lands on the page, they'll recognize one of these physicians. They might be interested. I think each of these physicians have a different practice. Have it as a 30-second clip, and then underneath it, it say, hey, watch Dr. Lieberman, Dr. Sandhu's full video interview, full video here. And then now you start getting some data where you say, oh, you know what? We drove 5,000 visits to this landing page. 25 or 40% of them clicked on Dr. Lieberman's video and went there. That's the thing we should actually run ads on, right? And or even better is like you get some data from the landing page, run those 3 videos on LinkedIn, same format, short form, watch the full video here and see, does the like adding more traffic, do you still see the same results? Because then if you run that experiment for over just, let's say, a quarter, at the end of it, you'll have an answer and say, oh, of all these physicians, Dr. XYZ got the most traffic, most interest, etc. That's who we should be getting to speak at our large customer meeting or to go on podium and stuff. So that way it's not guessing anymore.
I really love that testing framework, and something that we try and incorporate as well too, because we've seen it. We'll run splice and dice videos, as I like to say, where one is just straight how the product works, the other one is more like background, and we compare them. And when we do this for ads, we quickly see, oh, this is the video splice that is generating the bulk of the leads, the bulk of engagements, has the highest hook rate, which is really important when it comes to video engagement or video metrics. And then from there, you can double down on a lengthy video or using that as a means to get people into the funnel and to get them interested, and then email follow-up or some other type of follow-up to get them to watch the longer video.
Totally.
But once again, even something like this, once again, if you haven't figured it out right now, like this is all the way at the very bottom of the page. I would be very interested in knowing how many people actually get here, how many people start this video, and how many people actually finish this video. Because on almost every single company we've ever audited, even just looking at, even globally looking at like YouTube videos, the drop off in the first 30 seconds to a minute of a video is pretty significant. Right?
Absolutely. Look,
so let alone on a video like this, where you're fighting against the attention of someone else hanging out with the kids, watching TV, watching the news, and you have this 5-minute video on there. It's a lot of uphill battle to fight.
And yeah, and I want to point something out, because again, there's this notion where, people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. That's not true. That's not true.
At all.
Yeah. And here's my proof. Okay, 2 points. Number one, evolutionarily, our brain, the internet, all these things came out in the last 50 years. The brain did not change. The brain hasn't changed in thousands of years. So that's number one. But number two, it's not that people's attention spans are getting shorter. It's the fact that you're competing with way more stuff. Yep. And if you want further proof of this, Netflix has a great model, because they show that people are willing to sit down for 9 hours on a Saturday and watch like a full series, right? So that's essentially what you're competing with. And again, there's a part of me where I'm sure you would agree with this, where long form is important, because sometimes people ask me, like with like some of my podcasts, I'll give you a great example, is that podcasts that I have that are like 2 hours long. People are like, who listens to that? I'm like, the people who are interested in it.
People that are interested. People that are engaged and interested will absolutely listen to lengthy content, right? Yeah, I don't think either of us are arguing like this should be short just for the sake of it being short. It's just, is there a better way to drive engagement and to capture the interest when you have all these other things that are happening that are going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, I'll make one last point on this, which is when it comes to leveraging content to attract the right adopter and changes their behavior for adoption, the key is similar to what we do in selling in person, which is when you go to sell to a physician in person, you don't try and sell them on the product and everything in the very first meeting. You go for small little commitments. Hey, doctor, can I come and shadow you in your case? Great. Really enjoyed shadowing. Can I swing by and grab lunch with you? Can I meet you in the cafeteria for coffee? So these small little commitments, it's the same thing in marketing, which is, okay, are there some people who are going to watch the 5-minute long video? Yeah, sure. But you're going to lose a whole lot of other people that need that small little commitment first. So you indoctrinate them. That's what all marketing is, an indoctrination process. And again, you got to think of, as we talked about in the past, top of funnel, which is top of funnel is like shorter, non-branded content, things that get attention. And how do you get them to commit a little bit more? And even, I would argue, towards the middle and bottom funnel, you still have to take that approach, which is how do I make it easier for someone to make a small commitment that leads to a bigger one, and so on and so forth. We're almost at the end and we'll jump to our next topic. But all right, so join the movement to bring active robotic assistance into your RR. By the way, I'll just give it a shout out just because I'm a student of category design. Christopher Lockhead has become my show. I'm a big fan of him and everything. So I think active robotic assistance is a good category name because like it immediately communicates what it is. It's not ambiguous, right? I think that's a good one. But I feel like that it's still being mentioned like in the background, and it's being overwhelmed with a lot of the feature stuff.
When you presented this to me for this landing page, that's the first thing I asked you. Was like, "Hey, is active robotic assistance a new category?"
Yep.
If you Google it, what comes
up? Oh yeah, let's Google it. Oh yeah, I was active robotic. Right. Oh,
so good. So
there we go.
They come up there, right?
Well
so
done.
That's good. So can they maintain it? Will they be producing more content that really emphasizes this and defines what this category is or it should be?
Oh, hold on.
Yep. There
We
go.
have, this is from 8 months ago.
Yep.
So Merrill, what is Merrill? Oh yeah, Merrill. Yeah. So Merrill's a pretty large company in the orthopedic space as well. Active robotic. Oh, wait a minute. Controversy and drama. Did Merrill come up with it? So by the way, this has been done before. You don't have to be the first one to come up with a category. You got to be the first one to own it. So like when we say electric cars, everyone thought of Tesla, even though Tesla was not the very first electric car company. It's because they owned that category. So Merrill, okay, so let's go back. J&J's done a good job of ranking for active robotic assistance. Okay. Merrill's first. So the next thing that J&J needs to do, okay, like a shameless plug here. If they are smart, they should get one of their KOLs to come on the State of MedTech and do an episode about active robotic assistance because that'll rank like hell. Because right now, YouTube is owned by Google, and I would say that owning search on YouTube is probably as important, or if not more, than general search. Would you agree with that?
I agree. I'm super bullish on all things YouTube, and I do agree. I think one of the things they should do is absolutely they should publish some YouTube content explicitly saying the active robotic assistance on there to then get the additional ranking for that term.
Yeah, and
right?
and look like
I think it's early enough and not enough people are really have used this a bunch where they can come in and own the search for this category. But the other thing is as well too, it's one thing to earn the search for it, but people have to actively be talking about that and using that in their normal day-to-day language.
Yeah, and look,
you need your physician buddies to say, "Hey, have you heard about this active assisted robotic?" in order for that kind of message to spread.
Yeah, totally. And look, like, here's the other thing. Merrill has been talking about active robotic assistance for over a year now because they have a View Medi video in April 1st, 2023. So like in 2023, within the whole year, they just have 2 videos. So again, this is like free money on the table. And with J&J, if they want to play this the right way, you have to... Storytelling's been around for a long time. That's what this is, storytelling. You have to think about how do you position this. So, okay, There's active robotic assistance. The other thing, it's not passive. Passive robotic assistance is a little bit too thick. Like really amplify that. Rigid, outdated robotic assistance, right? Static robotic assistance, right? Because passive, I have things that I love that run in the background that are passive, right? But if it's like rigid, static, those are all negative connotations. So there's this constant play where you have to not only promote your category, it's like we are this, we are not that. And if you want to do
it's the old way versus the new way.
Yeah, and look, like
that's it.
I want to go off just on a tiny tangent here. I got to give a shout out to my buddy Brian Johnson, who he'll be coming on the show soon, but also I'm a big fan of his products. So Brian Johnson, again, sold Venmo for 800 mil. Now he's like the most measured human being on planet Earth. So he's a big biohacker. So he just did this video, right? And essentially, he takes all his competitors. So he comes up with this thing for chocolate, which is chocolates they should be high in flavanols, which are really healthy for you, but not in heavy metals. So he takes all these chocolates and tries them and starts coming up with his own ranking. Here's the ranking. Where is it? It froze as it comes back. So he comes up with this huge ranking of these chocolates. And at the very end, he ranks them all. He's, oh, this chocolate's actually pretty good, blah, 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 blah. So you're seeing this one chocolate that's ranked high. Oh, that's bad. He's like, here's my chocolate. Here's why it's ranked. So he came up with his own like ranking system. That's what I'm not saying J&J should be ranking robots, but they should have one of their users and be like, hey, look, you should do, and this should be paid, by the way. We're going to help you write this piece of content or video. You're going to talk about your experience with these robotic systems and what you liked and what you didn't like about them. And when you get to ours, just be like, this is exactly why I've adopted this platform. Done.
The real answer is they should just be battle bots for all these assisted robots.
Dude, 100%. There needs to be battle bots. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. I want to see these in a room going against each other. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay.
That's how you end this. That's how you end the beef. You just do.
So here's experience robotic assistance here. Okay, so it goes here. Okay, cool. And then join the movement. So I'm okay with this headline, but this should be something simple. Like upcoming conferences. That's it. Yeah. You don't have to be creative here.
Yeah, I think the join the movement it's one of those marketing cliches that's played out. So this double call to action here at the footer, once again, if you have a landing page like this, you have one singular call to action. The fact that this is at the bottom of the page, just some type of afterthought, I don't really understand what that is. If the goal is to have people attend these mobile shows, this kind of breaks that mold, and now I'm confused. Which one do you want me to attend your mobile roadshow, or do you want me to go to one of your conferences here at these events?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm confused. All right. So this part to me was unclear. It's at the footer. Maybe it's just,
you know what I would do, get rid of this entire thing. When you see experience active robotic assistance near you, it should be I'm okay with this. It should show like maybe above spine mobile lab locations, because there's a longer list of this. They should have above it like upcoming conferences, and you don't have to put pictures. Look, how many upcoming conferences do they have? I think they have 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's going to be one. And then right below it, it's like spine mobile applications. Let's scroll all the way down. What do we see down here? Featured products, active robotic assistance. There's a teaser. Okay. Telgen. Spine. Yeah, see, I'm okay with this, but it's like really taking advantage of, look, okay, they're probably thinking, okay, by the time they get here, let's put some other stuff. The problem is that this other stuff is I always tell people, number one, don't negotiate against yourself in interviews. You should also not market against yourself. So it's surgeons coming down here, oh, there's some featured products. Okay, this is cool. Telgen, what's that? Learn more. Great, now I'm on a completely different thing. Unrelated. It's, oh, dude, I don't need a robot. Let me just use this thing. So you don't want to distract. Focus on what the goal is. Yes. Don't market against yourself.
Yeah, that part wasn't clear. I don't know if that's a competing product or competing product line or down or upsell for their systems. But yeah, I think, like I said, keep things simple, one central call to action. I think in that overall funnel that they have, if the goal is to drive people towards these mobile shows, let's pre-capture some information, because you're not going to do a mobile show in every city, town, and state. Capture those. That way you have them on your list. If there is a local tour for them to go attend, route them towards those shows. If not, find other ways, engage and loop with them into the process.
Totally.
Yeah. And so we didn't dive into this, but on the technical side, because, I love diving into the technical details of some of these things. For a landing page, I don't know if you saw that they're running any ads specifically towards that page. How did that, because did that show up organically on your LinkedIn feed?
It showed up organically. I can tell you right now real quick.
Yeah. So I looked earlier and I couldn't find any ads. I don't know if you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but that seemed like a missed opportunity potentially for them to kind of help this.
Let's do that. And I want to just
bigger issue that I had though was on the technical side. I didn't see any. Once again, from our standpoint, I didn't see any of the LinkedIn Insight pixels. I didn't see any like tracking and conversion pixels specifically on those pages. I think that's probably an opportunity to remarket, re-engage people that express interest in their, hey, it's not in my city, or to promote it as people start to browse those pages.
Yeah.
So I went to the subsidy, not J&J's, but
you went to Depew, right?
Yeah, I went to Depew.
Yeah. So let's look at Depew.
Yeah, I went to Depew.
Yeah, no, there's not.
Yeah,
and by the way, for people who are wondering, you can just go to any page and click post and go to view ad library. And you know what's interesting? Like I just got to make this comment. Okay, this is J&J MedTech. Okay, why is it that the majority, whoever's doing J&J like Latin America, you're doing a great job because you're running ads at least. And look, like they even have, it looks like they have a podcast.
Yeah.
I have a podcast. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I'd probably just swap the location to US and see if anything shows up there.
Yeah. Shout out to J&J Latin America though. Let's see. Here we go. Oops. LinkedIn's ad platform isn't exactly the easiest to deal with. There we go. Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, before we run out of time, let's jump into the second topic and then try and squeeze in a little Q&A. So real quick, no search volume for your product and category, or I'm going to defer to you on this. What are like the 2 or 3 things that a marketer should consider doing to improve that?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. So for example, like the category we're just talking about, active robotic assistants, right? There's probably little to no search volume for something like that. And this is a common issue we see with lots of different companies, right? Like you have either a niche product or kind of a one-off product, or a product that has a smaller market. And generally speaking, like you go for the highest intent conversions that you can get. That's generally going to be things on like Google search, because people are actively searching for robotic assisted surgery. But in the absence of that, that is where like you have to do real marketing in order to drive that. And the goal there is creating demand, driving awareness. And so those paid channels can help facilitate a lot of that. I think organic content, communities, podcasts, those things help to build up that awareness to then drive people to eventually start to search for your brand terms or your category terms. But in the absence of that, it's very hard. And a lot of companies like default, how do I say it? A lot of companies force Google ads, force SEO, and the market doesn't exist for it. I guess really what I'm getting at, because there's low search volume, just not there. And you have to create the demand on the back end by doing some of these activities.
I completely agree. And again, this goes back to a topic we covered a few weeks ago, which is the importance of top of funnel. I think that so many marketers, because they're so used to it, and it's very easy to be like, oh, if I put money in, this is what I'm going to get out, which is like SEO and Google AdWords. But again, you have to ask yourself, who's searching for that? And what I would always tell people is you're better off putting your money towards generating the demand and going straight to the market where they are, whether it's engaging with their posts, paid ads, organic, etc., so that by the time they go and search, let's say in the case of J&J, active robotic assistants. See, I can't even remember. Look, we just spent like almost 30 minutes talking about it. I can't remember the category because it's not talked about enough. But the point is that by the time somebody hits Google search and they search for your product specifically, or let's say your category, their mind is already made up. It's on rare occasion, and usually with like low-cost SaaS tools or like random products, that like a sponsored ad is going to be compelling enough for somebody to be like, oh, I'll go with that. Usually it's more of a commodity. So if I search, for example, I was looking for beach gear the other day. So I was looking at like best beach chairs, and I wanted to look at some lists, and there was one ad that came out, it was Forbes #1 beach chair. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Cause like I had no like conditioning to any product at that point. But speaking of which, when it came to me looking into like coolers or drink stuff, I'd been like marketed like hell to just over time by two brands, Yeti and Stanley. And so like when I looked for those things, I didn't even care about the sponsor content. I'm like, I just want to see the Yeti and Stanley stuff.
And I'm sure as well too that you looked at those regardless of the price. I'm sure there are cheaper coolers, and you probably are like, no, you know what, Yeti is the de facto. If I'm going to be doing anything at the beach, I want to keep my food and my drinks cold, Yeti's the only way to go. Right?
Exactly. And their stuff is really expensive, by the way, just so people know.
And yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think when it comes towards, a lot of times it's already too late if someone goes to search and they're searching for your competitor, and you're trying to steal basically traffic or steal leads away from a competitor if your prospects or customers are already searching for them. So that's an uphill battle, right? Because their minds are, like I said, already made up. So you have to do 10 times more convincing as to why choose you over what they've already selected in their minds.
Yeah, totally. And real quick, I have Emil. He dropped an example. Steadyware is a good example of a medtech company, new category product for a niche market with low recurring sales. I just looked at this. I want to bring this up because I'm pretty impressed with this. Just real quick. I know we're running out of time here, so I'll try and do this quickly. But here we go. Steadyware. There we go. We run out of this. By the way, so already I love it. I don't even know what this company does immediately. Before our product, after our product. I know what it does. And just based on this, I'm like, I'm sold. I don't even have to read anything else. So I'm gonna shout out to the Steadyware team. Really well done. Introducing a steady two-handed tremors glove. Okay, great.
And once again, is this clever or clear?
Yeah, I think this is clear and clever.
Very, very clear. Yeah.
Very clear. I would say if you think about it, it's not that clever because just putting like before and after, but it's almost, it doesn't need to be clever. And okay, introducing steady two-hand tremor gloves. Okay, perfect. Immediate, as low as $55 a month. Here's some authority bias. Okay, here are the features, right? And it's just okay. And then here, instead of having one long video, they have 4 videos, all a minute long. Somebody can commit to this because someone's going to come look. They have one person here, older woman, another older woman, older man, another older woman.
You know what actually ends up happening in this situation is someone will actually binge watch all 4 of these videos.
Yeah, you're right.
If this was one long form video, like I said, they probably watched the first minute or so, but because they're short, they're punchy, and if the before after like benefits are like clearly there and defined, and like how like life changing this product is, they will watch all 4. And if there were 10 videos there or 12, they would likely watch the bulk of those videos in one sitting.
100%. And look, again, they hit more on this point of view, like before and after. So like with J&J, I would say, look, whatever your current deal, okay, wrestling with robots, put a picture of a physician like trying to move the robot and knowing everything, and then put an image where literally it shows an arrow to indicate that the robot is actively following the surgeon. That's what you should do. It doesn't have to be that.
Can you color within the lines with our robot?
Exactly.
It's literally that. It's simple as that.
And look, I would say, they have all these pages for the product, but literally they've done the persuasion already on this. I thought this was really well done because by the time I seen all this, I'm like, dude, let's go. I'll just buy this right now.
Yeah, which they've done a really good job, because it would be hard to explain this product using only pictures. And then the fact that they have the video up that kind of shows you the before and after and how it works, then they can show like the outcome with those simple photos. And now you get it. Your mind gets it. If they led with the photo or something else, it wouldn't be as clear.
Totally. The one thing I'm going to point out though, I think they had it as a pop-up, but it should be right here. Okay, it's sold out. Cool. They're losing me as a customer. So they should have something, it's sold out. Put your email here to be notified immediately when we're in stock. That's the one thing I would tell them that they see. This is the problem. See where it says join rate? It's too low. It's below the full. I'm seeing this on a beautiful 64-inch curved monitor, right? This join waitlist should be right here. Yeah. Instead of sold out, it should be sold out join waitlist. Okay, so let me click on. All right. Yeah. That's my only feedback to them. But other than that, Steadyware, great job.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's a simple fix. They're most likely using Shopify or some other plugin like that, and they could easily swap out that waitlist feature. So yeah, that's a cool one. 100%.
Orette, we're almost at time. I think we have time for literally just one question if somebody has it. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up a little bit early this week. We'll leave more next week. We have a great topic for next week, which is about
a really good one for next week.
A really good one. We'll focus on that one topic, which is, or you want to just give them a little teaser? What's next week's topic?
Yeah. So the topic for next week is really how to improve your overall show up rates, right? So I think there are a lot of companies here that have, you have your sales or your demo process or funnel. One of the biggest challenges that we see, and I'm sure a lot of companies experience this, is like the no-show rate. So how do you build your marketing and your sales process to facilitate the highest show-up rate, to educate your buyers before they join the meeting, and for them to be like excited to hop on a sales call with you? I think if you want to double your show-up rate, be sure to attend next week's session.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I think next week, I'm going to just say that's the only topic we're going to cover because we can really dive into that. But it doesn't look like we have any questions. If you have a question, just hit Orette and I up. If you're interested in joining this, just check the show notes below, sign up for this. And we're always looking for ideas. So if you're a marketer and you have a topic, maybe you work at a company and you personally want somebody to do a live review of something, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to be the one asking. Just send me or Orette a message. Be like, hey, this is the company I work for. I want to be anonymous, but can you review our landing page? Can you review our marketing strategy? Trust me, we'll get in. We'll get into it. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great. And one last comment real quick. I just want to mention this to the marketers. My good friend Chris Walker talked about it this week. I'm a big believer in this. August is a slow month, especially because a lot of people in Europe take off and everything. Don't slow down. Think of August as a momentum building, momentum generating month. Don't let off the gas. It's very tempting because, everybody's off. It's a little bit slower here. Use this to build momentum. You'll thank me because you'll hit September really hard. And generating that mid Q3 momentum will push you over the top into Q4. So this is end of Q3, beginning of Q4. In my opinion, it's one based on what you do in August. So.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's the great statement for you.
All right, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for checking out this episode. If you want to do me a big favor and join so many other people who have helped grow this podcast, take a second and look below. If you're on Apple, give us 5 stars and write a short review. If you're on Spotify, just give us 5 stars. And if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. And most importantly, if you can, subscribe. We release so many different episodes that you may miss. Be sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on. You get extra points with me if you subscribe across all 3 channels. Thank you so much. And if you felt like this episode helped you, send this to somebody who'd really enjoy and appreciate it. Share and spread the love. We'll see you all next time.